When you look at the history of New York City rappers over the past like 20 years or whatever, 50 is kind of the rare exception that blew up and didn't immediately have his career implode. Because we've just seen it happen so many times, whether it's a Fed case, whether it's fucking just
two record deals, all kinds
anything.
of shit.
Yeah. To what do you credit that? The fact that he had just been through so much. He was an older guy by the time you signed him. In the grand scheme of things,
he was like 26
right.
when that shit happened.
So
when Get Rich came out, 26.
He had seen a lot of misery and failure.
Yeah, he's seen sign a deal, think it's gonna happen, don't happen. Sign another deal, you on the hospital bed and they releasing you like, hey, you can have your pub back.
Wow.
They gave him back everything. You know what I'm saying? Thinking he was about to die and like, yeah, here's your shit back. So he's seen the whole world turn against him. You know what I mean? So for him, he viewed it differently, and that's where the cold heart come from, because he was, you know what I mean? So, but at that point, it was a blessing. Here I come, and we get to the next level. So I consider myself a blessing.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You know, you as a person like that who's just full of so much talent, it's very much necessary that like you find a team around you that will actually help nurture that. And I mean, you could very, very easily imagine 50's career not having turned into what it was, because we've seen so many talented rappers not turn into what they could have been.
That's right. I mean, you with Trackmasters, they got a label, Steve Styles a part of it. There's so many big execs. You think the formula is gonna work. But then you get with another broke nigga from Queens and you in his basement, and then that formula works.
Right.
So it's all about formula for success. You know what I mean? You can't make the same recipe two different ways and expect it to come out the same way. You need that formula to stay the same. It's a recipe.
Definitely.
You know?
So let's pull it all the way back. We just kind of hit a bunch of the 50 stuff early on, but talk about like your early days and how you realized that you were meant to be in this music business.
Yeah, I woke up. First, I started as a piano kid. Like, my mom's put me in piano school, so I learned
And you
music.
liked it?
Yeah.
My parents tried that with me. It didn't work.
It didn't work?
No, I didn't give a fuck.
Yeah, nah.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
When I look back at it now, I'm like, that could have been the start of something really important for you in your life.
That would have
Exactly.
been the rock band or something, man.
Or I could have made a Pooh Shiesty beat or something, and you could have been dancing around on them keys, you know?
For real. So for me, it just kind of translated to me understanding music immediately faster. And then as I'm hearing hip hop, I'm like, yo, that's a piano that they playing, and that's drums, and I'm figuring it out. So I just immediately want to get to some DJing, like, let me get some records and start playing records. And that immediately turned into me wanting to make the actual records that I'm playing, like, let me make a beat. So it was a real quick progression from playing piano to DJ to producer. I had a short period where I tried to be a rapper.
Right.
I was like the first mumble rapper you ever heard.
That was
And
how
the
you
shit was
define your
horrible.
style?
Yeah. So I was terrible. So I knew it wasn't going to be my career. You know what I'm saying? I had to choose that. My homie's like, yo, nah, stick to the beats.
That's amazing that you were able to recognize that, though, because I feel like I constantly am meeting people that I think would be really talented execs or be able to work in the business in some way, and they're like, "No, I'm gonna be a rapper." And it's just like
They want the big bag. You know, they want the big bag.
they want and in some ways, I think they want to fail. They want to pick an idea that they know has like almost 0% chance of working out.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Then they blame everybody else when it don't work.
You see it over
But
and over.
never give you the credit when it do work.
But one of the biggest issues, if you want to make something out of your life, is sort of like being able to be real with yourself and realize what you're good at and what you're not good at. So I find that very impressive that you were able to give it a shot, to be so clearly in love with hip hop, but then not feel the need to really keep pushing the issue that wasn't meant to be.
Yeah, nah, because I had speech issues as a kid, so I already was like, I already know. But I wanted to rap because I was into it.
But if you had made it, then you'd be saying I had speech issues as a
Yeah,
kid, and that's what made me special. Just like 50 got shot in the tooth, and that becomes the
Like,
story.
it's
Yeah.
but it was like, nah, I ain't gonna do that. Be the first mumble rapper. I said, let's wait for the South to do that.
What was the music that was like had you so excited about hip hop at that time? Like, what were the artists that stood out to you and made you lose your mind about this shit?
Oh man, this is starting with Run DMC, LL Cool J. You know, the whole era, that 80s sound that Def Jam was pushing out, and Public Enemy, that Eric B and Rakim, cool. You know, that whole era, man. Everything Marley Marl was doing. Just having my hands and hearing Video Music Box, watching the videos and seeing everybody from Houdini, Dana Dane, and all of them just start coming with all different. Then Slick Rick, That was it. It just kept elevating. And it just started off real simple and just kept elevating.
Does it ever irritate you or feel a certain way that the vast majority of the artists you probably work with right now have no knowledge or appreciation of the shit that you grew up on, and the problem is going to get worse the longer you stay in the game.
Yeah, because I mean, we took away a lot of the part of the art that I respect. Like, I'm a vinyl collector, so I've been buying vinyl since I was a DJ, waking up 13, learning that not just owning hip hop vinyl, but getting soul and pop and rock and all different kind of bands and start collecting it. So I had a love for records, credits, who's doing what, the producers. I had a love for that. That was like a passion for me. So for me, you know, learning who was in a part of an era that I didn't live was a part of that passion. So I'm knowing who's in the 70s doing Motown and production and all of that. You know, David Porter, everybody that's doing shit.